Hey folks, Kaya here. I Should Roll will always be free to listen to, but it's not free to make. So please consider supporting us by subscribing to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Intergalactic Improv Initiative. You'll find the link in the show notes. As a stellar streamer, you'll receive exclusive bonus content and our enduring gratitude. Tiers start at $2 per month. See you on Calliope Station.
A podcast by the Intergalactic Improv Initiative.
Dangerous Dangers, Episode 11, No Answers to be Found. Featuring the voices of Alanya Campbell, Amanda Cotter, Maria Damianou, Leah Lawson, Dan Spitaliere, and creator Kaya Renwick. Waiting is painful. Forgetting is painful. But not knowing which to do is the worst kind of suffering. I should roll. Last time on Dangerous Dangers, the crew of the Corsica are on their way to Ilium to investigate the shadow broker dead drop Minos has compromised, since it apparently has something to do with Jesse. I'm sure that's fine. Along the way, they've gotten to know the ship and each other. Or have they?
January 19th, 2189. Terran Universal Coordinated Calendar. Tassale System. Crescent Nebula. MSV Corsica.
You both hear a knock on the door.
I'm right here, Clous. You can.
I assume the door is closed now, right?
Yeah, no, she's been in the doorway the whole time.
You never closed the door behind you?
Yeah, like I'm.
Why don't we close and lock doors in our campaign?
I do, but apparently no one else was down here.
I don't think the other campaign does either, to be fair.
I'm not a bean. Come on. I love you, Bean, and I love you, Leah. Anyway.
Wonderful people can forget to lock their doors, okay?
Yeah.
No, so Clous walks up behind you, and you can tell, like, the energy level is high.
Question! How can they tell that Cluz's energy level is high? She is an Elcor. They are humans.
The steps are a little bit more, like, bouncy than usual. That's why.
Okay.
There's no expression happening.
Okay.
It's just that, like, they feel
We've got a little
the
bit of a
footsteps are a
skipping
little different.
Elcor going on.
Sure.
That is the
There's not
funniest
skipping,
thing I
just-
think I've ever envisioned.
Yeah, not subtle. You didn't need to knock. We already knew.
Dan, I am going to want a sound effect for a skipping Elcor.
Yeah. I'll do my best.
She's not quite skipping. It's just that, like, some steps are a little lighter and faster than others.
So cute.
Like a trot. She's a trotting Elcor.
All right, Foxtrot, let's go.
So Clous trots up behind you, and you hear them say, bewildered and perplexed and moderately embarrassed. I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt anything.
What?
I didn't expect you to be here together.
Oh, Jesus.
With burgeoning glee. Is it happening?
It's
Suddenly insecure. How do you define it?
How are you defining it?
This is good. Keep going. It's making her very embarrassed, and that's very funny.
Okay, all right. What are you alluding to here, dear Clous?
With hope and delight. Well, I thought you two had a little chemistry, maybe. And softening and heartfelt. Athena, you know I worry about you sometimes.
Don't.
being out there all by yourself.
What?
And, you know.
I'm going to quietly say to Athena, like, we absolutely cannot let Clous know what this ship really is.
Athena, like, slightly doubles over. Because that shit's too funny. I just give him a wink because I agree. I think if she knew, it would break her.
I would like to roll perception to see if Clous notices this wink.
I'm gonna say you're rolling with advantage because you are an Elcor and you hear very, very well, and you would have chances are good that you heard what Jesse said.
Fucking great, let's go. Okay, first was a crit fail. I almost don't want it to be better, but I also really want it to be better.
The dilemma.
I'm just trying to figure out what number this is because this is the first time I've used these special dice. So that was a perception check. That's a 9. It wasn't much better.
I think you are just too excited. and I also think that when I think you might have gone looking for Athena, possibly in the spa, and I feel like you got a nose full of the lotions that Nyx had been using, and so your pheromones are off kilter, and Jesse's still got his music playing. It's like quieter, but it's still playing, and so I think you miss it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like sensory overload.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anxious and gregariously. Anyway, changing the subject. The reason I came down here was to invite you, well, Jesse specifically, but I had gone looking for Athena because I was planning on inviting Athena. I am planning on inviting everyone, just so we're clear, to a movie night.
Now?
Well, slightly losing hope. Well, not now, necessarily. I thought perhaps after supper, maybe.
Solace, how are you announcing supper? Are you going over the ship-wide comm, or are you just doing the whole tap into the domain and tell everybody in their heads where they're all getting the message that food is ready?
That's amazing.
Solace is still very cautious about doing that. They can tell that people are not comfortable with that.
Sure.
So they will, I don't know if there's a signature chime that the crews would have, for a...
Probably. So there's probably a default one linked into the ship-wide comm system. I am sure that Dan has a huge old folder of all sorts of these sounds, and we can find one that sounds appropriate for this ship.
That's fine. I'm sorry, I'm losing it right now because I have the thought of Arachni going over a ship-wide comm and just be like, ah! Screeching. Because they can't speak common, right?
Yeah, I don't think they can speak, no.
That doesn't work. No. So the way that this would work when you're speaking over shipboard comms is that you are actually you communicate in sound waves, and so you are essentially speaking into the domain through the ship, and so it's it works. It works. I can go into it, but it works.
It's space magic, okay?
Is it?
Yes, space magic.
Yeah, space magic. I was gonna say, given what kind of ship was before, it's probably come and get it.
Yeah, I was thinking of an automated, whatever that sound. Yes.
I'm sure you can set something up, and it would I would imagine that if you're speaking through the ship,
probably the comm system is actually going to translate more of the Rachni speech as... So what I'm trying to say is whatever you say over the comm is probably going to have a soundtrack.
Like a wow wow.
Like a backing soundtrack of some sort of musical something or other. And so yes, I think that poor Clous, their dignity is briefly saved by the shipboard chime, followed by Solace announcing that dinner is ready. However, Solace wishes to announce this.
Yeah, I will actually use the idea of they decide to pick like this automated sound that says, "Come and get it," like that. So they're like, that sounds appropriate. I don't know if that's the right, but that seems like it sounds like it could be right. So they just go with that.
That's perfect. And I feel like you guys have also been smelling some pretty amazing smells coming through. So Clous, you also went through the galley on your way down here. And so Solace was cooking up a storm, and so now that's coming into the hallways so that Athena and Jesse can smell it too.
Is there like a holographic menu that I can make? Kind of pop up at the...
Oh, sure!
Like on the
absolutely!
counter. So they will actually have it up on the counter like a holographic menu, and it will be like the lobster. They've also made like some seasoned vegetables and stuff, and like rice and other stuff like that, and they tried to like attempt to make like a fancy like salad type of thing. We want to not have a bunch of junk food. They're trying not to do that. Since I know we're going on a really weird mission thing, we need to have our health up and stuff. But I was wondering, after they send out the message or the chime, they would go straight to their own cabin. Actually, I wasn't sure. I wanted to finish up Athena's scene and Jesse's scene and stuff like that before I do that.
Yeah. Are you planning to? So you've announced that food is ready. Are you planning to eat with people, or are you going to retire to your cabin before people get there?
I was going to. Well, they're going to retire to their cabin before. I was actually going to ask, how much sleep does Arachni need? I wasn't sure.
I'm kind of imagining that Rachni sleep in small bits, more like throughout the day, and probably don't need as much as other bipedal creatures. So I don't think insectoid species, they don't sleep on the same schedule as most mammals do, as far as I understand. So yeah, you guys have had dinner has been announced.
Anyway, and I'm gonna push past Athena.
Oh, biomates barge on through?
Well, see you at the table.
Can I do... How big are these hallways? How wide are these hallways? Because I'm standing right there.
Yeah, these are... I was imagining these staff cabins as a little bit like a cruise ship deck. And so it's probably a little tight. Clous might need to back into a room to really let Jesse by.
Just gonna stand in front of her and be like,
trying to that's what I'm imagining.
Try and find an angle around. Can't move.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna watch.
Can I would like to make a dexterity check to see how well I'm able to get out of the way as Clous is quite bumbling and nervous in this moment in general, and is a little. Where should I go?
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Just press up against the wall. Excuse me.
Yeah. Wow. Rolling hot today. That is a 9.
Okay. You got used to the Citadel, where things are like reasonably large and you can fit 3 keepers across in most corridors if you have to. This you could there's room for you. You kind of feel like you have to tuck your elbows in. And so it's awkward. You're doing a little bit of the do-si-do. You're not quite sure what to do.
Okay, great. So then as Jesse approaches me and I try to move around, beginning to panic just a bit. I'm so sorry, Jesse. and swivel her head like around, trying to look for some sort of exit strategy, sees the room across from them and says, "Desperate recovery attempt," slams on the pad for the door across from them, and as it opens, deeply apologetic, "Excuse me," and just like flops into the room on the other side to get out of the way.
I'm so sorry. Thanks.
Like, you guys know this is a double-ended hallway. We could have just gone around the other way.
That makes it funnier. I don't know what you're talking about.
Incredible.
Besides, the other way you would have to go all the way through observation and around cargo. That's not convenient.
That was Athena, not me. Come down in at the Glorious Goose Guzzle and try our new ambiguous turnover.
These are delicious. What's in this?
For legal reasons, we cannot say or not say.
Is my translator working?
Sure is.
What are they made of?
They're made.
What is it?
It sure is.
What's in them?
Them. We don't discuss the magic. Grab them while they're hot. Don't actually grab them while they're hot. You will not be covered for burns under our insurance policy. You are responsible for your own temperature tolerance. You will be taken care of if you question what's in the meat.
For Solace, whether I know the conversation can't be too long or anything, but they did want to send out a message to the mother singer, Free Flickering Flame,
for sure,
about the disturbing incident that they just went through with the crew that they're with.
While they're kind of getting things together, you retire to your cabin and you contact your mother singer, Free Flickering Flame. What do you say?
First, they can't now. I was gonna say, because I didn't know that nobody was like looking at Solace when they were settling in or anything, but they've been kind of very quiet. But I know people won't notice that because it's probably hard to notice or kind of have like an insight on a bug thing. But their song is kind of rattled. Like they're trying to be a little bit more, trying to smooth out their song, not to concern their mom, but it's definitely their concern and their kind of disturbance for stuff it's coming out. Like their song is sputtering. So they speak and they say, "Mother Singer, we need you."
Free Flickering Flame's presence envelops you almost immediately in the Sakasa room. The warmth, the low string bass, all of these low sounds, creating this foundation, this warmth and familiarity. And Free Flickering Flame is immediately there in your mind with you. And she says, "We are here, young explorer. What is wrong? Your harmonies are dissonant. We sense the sour yellow notes."
Yes, we've mentioned before that we have encountered other companions, and during my short travels with them, we've encountered this sour yellow note. We don't know what to do. They will share the memory with their mom, and they will highlight the moment when the person that they interrogated said that, I can't remember what they said verbatim, but I know they mentioned the Reapers, right? They said,
yeah, something along the lines of, "The sooner you kill me, the sooner I join the Reapers."
Yes, so they'll highlight that that one line, yeah.
Okay. Free Flickering Flames song quiets, and Solace, I'd like you to give me a perception check with advantage, please.
So 18 for that. Okay.
Even though Free Flickering Flame is doing her best to mask her concern, Solace is well enough accustomed to songs of discontent that they can still hear. They hear the nervous fluttering in the ostinato below Free Flickering Flame's main melodies. The colors shift from the warm browns and reds to echoes of that oily yellow. A mournful oboe soars through in the background, and she does her best to tamp down on it, but it's there, and Solace knows that not only does Free Flickering Flame understand more than she is immediately letting on, but she has experienced more than she is immediately letting on, and she is very concerned for Solace. She says, "Be wary of these ones, young explorer. They carry darkness and discordance in their songs. Their songs will not accord with those of others. They are powerful. They are dangerous." Solace can sense hesitation. There's a flutter of wind chimes in a scale that isn't in like a blues scale. It's very frightened, very it doesn't jive with any of the rest of the music that's going on. As she debates with herself. And then a bassoon or a bass clarinet cuts through with the conviction that no, it is her job as your mother singer to prepare you the best she can for anything you may come across. Even if it is frightening, even if she cannot be there to protect you herself, she can give you information. And she says, "These beings have such power and knowledge that they threaten even Shepherd Mother Singer. You would do well to avoid them, my child. You would do very well to avoid them."
My siblings. Should we tell them about this? Warn them?
Your ship brood, your new companions. It is always wise to share information if it means a higher likelihood of survival for one's broodmates. We spent too long hiding what information we had, and it cost us dearly. You must choose what you believe to be wisest, but our advice is that the song of truth always rings clearest and always brings the most hope.
We understand. Thank you, Mother Singer.
Of course, young explorer. Be well. Free Flickering Flames, all-encompassing presence evanesces into the Sakasaha room, and Solace is left in their little cabin on the Corsica with their friends in the galley down the hallway. Solace gonna go tell them what just happened.
They will head out. I didn't know if anyone had any other scenes at the supper. I didn't want to, intrude.
So while this is happening, I'll say this probably took a few minutes. Y'all have made it to the galley, to the spread with the holographic menu and the massive lobster. I feel like it takes up like a solid half of the countertop. It's huge. It's huge. What are you guys doing? Nyx, are you coming down? What's your...
Yeah, so Nyx just, she's still in her robe. She took a handful of those prophylactics and put them in her pocket, along with some of the toys, but she actually ripped off the feather toy because she really wants to give Clous the little feather for their hat because it's a nice pink color. So yeah, she's incredibly relaxed right now. It's been a while since she's been able to take a moment for herself, so she's just hanging out at the table in her robe unapologetically, ready to eat, starving.
Okay, you guys, I think you come in. I think the interaction in the hallway has taken long enough that Nyx has beat you there.
Jesse is going to go get a whole bunch of food and eat like an anime protagonist.
Incredible.
So he'll be sitting at the table waiting for other people to join and just being like, hi. I have no idea what my reaction would be to Nyx entering in such a state. Just one other person found out. Okay.
Oh my god, I just...
Weren't looking at those cameras at that exact moment. We figured it out.
I'll take a quick look, just a quick once over of Nyx, and it's a little odd. There's like the tiniest hint of recognition.
Oh my goodness.
It's fleeting. It goes, and it's just delirious at the moment, so she takes a few vigorous bites. Biotics do eat a lot, but I think she's so tired that after a couple of bites, she actually just kind of falls forehead onto hands, and she's sleeping. She did not mean to.
Full on passes out at the table. Love that.
Literally passes out. Yeah, she's asleep. Sorry.
Clous looks at the table for a moment and says, in awe and slightly overwhelmed, "There is so much to choose from."
And Nyx is just watching Clous and just covering herself in butter, and she's just having a moment with the food, and she's just like, hey, you want some of this lobster? This is really good.
Clous takes a long look at the lobster in Nyx's hand and says, with polite refusal, "No, thank you. I do not eat seafood."
More for me?
Is Solace here?
I don't think Solace is here yet. I was about to say, if anybody want to do anything else before Solace shows up.
Dead to the world.
Someone want to get her a blanket?
All right. Solace will approach slowly, and they are hesitant a little bit, but then they speak within everyone's mind, and they say, "We have something to share with you."
Bloody hell! What?
Welcome back to the waking world, Athena.
The fuck? Solace, can you knock?
Thanks for the food. It's really good. God, this must have taken you like a long time, huh?
Nyx, you got a little
Mm-hmm.
on your. Anyway, what? Solace? You were speaking, right? I didn't just dream that.
No, you are not dreaming. And you can tell that usually Solace has a very even and calm tone, but their tone in your mind so far is bordering on despondent. Like, it's, how much would Mother Singer share about the Reapers? Can I ask? I don't know how to underwhelm them.
Yeah, you would have been taught what happened, even though you were hatched after the war, because Effie has made a point of teaching all of her brood about the dangers of beings that can take over Rachni by means of their songs. And so you have full ancestral given memory of the Reaper War and the atrocities committed within it, particularly by the Reaper-controlled Rachni, pardon me. But you know exactly what Free Flickering Flame was talking about, and so she did not tell you specifically what Minos has to do with the Reapers, but you know enough that you know your Mother Singer is very concerned, and whatever these people can do, it's bad, like really bad. An option here would be for you to use an effort and basically relay the memory of your conversation, the replay of the song that you had with Free Flickering Flame to everyone in the room.
Solace will go with that. So, within your minds, you hear kind of almost like I feel like the start of like the record playing, and then you will hear like the songs, and I guess the melodies of what Solace has experienced with their Mother Singer, and it's pretty important because they don't really often share any of their songs that they've had with their Mother Singer ever. Oh.
Yeah. So I think there's a moment. So as Solace comes in and says, we need to say something. We need to tell you guys something. And then there's this moment of hesitation and like figuring out how to say it. And finally, I think there's this moment where I think you're seeing Solace's feelers. They're kind of jittery and anxious. And then there's this moment of calm. And yeah, I think I love Alanya's description at like a record starting. And then you hear this, I will call it a concerto. And I will use that term specifically as we have these pair of soloists, and then supported by the background, the orchestra of the Rachni hive mind, and everyone in the room. And I think, Solace, would you extend it to Vraga as a ship broodmate, even though she is not in the room at the moment, or no?
Yes, I would still.
Okay,
yeah.
So Vraga gets to have this as a dream. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, hell.
You guys all experience the conversation that you just heard in session between Solace-Within-Clay and Free Flickering Flame. But as you are receiving it as a replay of a Rachni conversation, does not have words in the same way that our conversations do. And so you are receiving this replay of physical sensations, emotions, sound, color, and meanings of words. Like you get that linguistic amount, but there are memories in it. And I'll say it probably only takes maybe about a minute, but you receive the memories that probably align fairly closely with some of yours, of what you have experienced or not. And so I'd actually like you all to roll me a resolve check, please.
And I spent an effort point as well.
Yes, you've spent an effort point to do that, yeah.
A 13.
Okay.
Please don't crit fail, guys. I don't want anything to happen.
16.
Okay.
Got 11 and my resolve is 7, so I got 18.
That is an 18.
Nice. Okay. You all pass, that's fine. And I think you're probably all, I will leave it up to you narratively, how shaken you are and how closely this aligns with, your memories of the war, or just how deeply it shakes you or not. Obviously, the higher your resolve check, the more you are able to kind of process this and understand it. But in layman's terms, the Rachni are familiar with Minos know that Minos are extremely bad news, as in they are an actual threat to Commander Shepard. And Free Flickering Flame is essentially warning you all away from them via Solace, with about as much weight as a queen of millions can do.
Roll was good, so I'm not shaken, but I don't like it.
I will actually say, for the purposes of giving you guys a button to work on, there is a flash of memory that is very clearly not any of yours that kind of comes through, and it is this flash of, it's very, very dark. You are seeing through someone else's eyes. You turn, you see a iron gray Turian with navy blue markings look at you, and then you are both running, and there is a searing pain through your leg. You go to your knees, and you're back up and you're running again, and then the memory is gone.
I'm gonna get up rather slowly, and then I am just walking back to my room, and on the way I'm texting Bailey a warning, but I don't say anything.
Clous quietly says, with somber gratitude, "Thank you, Solace, for this delicious meal and this beautiful warning."
Nyx is trying to hold it down. It was kind of shocking for her. And it's brought up some things in her own past. Just like wiping her face. The song of Arachne, of Solace. She's connected with one in the past, and she feels pain. Like she's being punched in the gut.
Jesse, still seated at the table, will look up briefly at Solace and just kind of look around the room, and after a beat, Jesse will stand up, walk over to Solace. He's not even really sure if he needs to get close to whisper to Solace, but he's going to do it anyway. And say, hopefully quiet enough that the other two people in the room don't hear, but say, "How much have you seen in my mind?"
You have been listening to I Should Roll, Dangerous Dangers, Episode 11, No Answers to be Found, featuring the voices of Alanya Campbell as Solace-Within-Clay, Amanda Cotter as Clous, Maria Damianou as Nyxandra Lalliri, Leah Lawson as Athena Hellier, Dan Spitaliere as Jesse Westcott, and Kaya Renwick as everyone and everything else. Music and sound effects are used under Creative Commons or royalty-free licenses. For the extended credits, please see the show notes. And for more information, please visit ishouldroll.com. Find us everywhere on social media at ishouldroll, and don't forget to leave us a review. I Should Roll is an Intergalactic Improv Initiative production. This fan podcast is a transformative work and is not affiliated with Electronic Arts or BioWare. Thank you for listening. Have a pleasant day.